More. You called me. I think it is. It's crazy. I've actually not my concert not on that.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the darkness hour. I see it's 6 o'clock and it's pitch black out there. We're going to begin tonight with our invocation by Chuck Vance from the First Brethren Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. May we all stand with us.
Father God, I just thank you so much for your wonderful love. I ask tonight that you give our council members wisdom and discernment as they are doing business, Lord, for our city, our community. And I just ask, Lord, that you bless them, that you bless this meeting, and that the people of Oak Hill and even the Fayette County will see the good that's going on here. We love you. We praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now call to order the City Council meeting November 4th, 2024, 6 p.m. Oak Hill, West Virginia. We'll now have our roll call.
Mayor Charles Briscoe,
Here.
councilors from Ward 1, Terry Van Buskirk,
Here.
Roger Evans,
Here.
Diana Janey, here, councilors from Ward 2, Tim Buskus, PJ Elder,
Here.
Chris Gill,
Here.
council at large, Hannah Bass.
Here.
Thank you. You've all read the minutes. Can we get a motion to approve our minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
May we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and second to approval of the minutes. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion is carried. Can you do the same for the treasurer's report, please?
We include last month's in the treasurer's report.
So we'll need a motion to include last month's.
I'll make a motion to approve September and October's treasurer's report.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and second. Do we approve the treasurer's report? All those in favor? All opposed?
Others.
No one opposed. The ayes do have it. Motion is carried. We have new correspondence. New correspondence, okay. No citizens' comments tonight. Nobody wants to talk to us tonight. Okay, well, that's fine. We have a presentation tonight. The Spirit of Oak Hill Award. This award will be presented to the Brethren Church.
And we're gonna have Jason Gill come up and present the award. We think he's probably the #1 customer there. So, we're gonna let him present the award.
So they have a place in my heart. I love it dearly. And a couple of notes here. Pistos Coffee was designed for community. Pistos supports the community by using their tips received to support local organizations such as schools and groups like the FCA, the VTech Women's Volleyball Team, Humane Society, Hico Area Storm Relief, youth groups, Young Life in Fayette County, Honeysuckle Gardens. They provide a friendly, quiet environment for customers throughout the community and beyond. They have helped support organizations financially, as well as a place for small groups and book clubs to meet. I personally like using it for meetings. It's quaint, it's quiet, it's peaceful. They provide volunteer opportunities for high school and college students to volunteer and receive community service for their hours of graduation. They employ 3 at this time and the rest is volunteer. Mike, come on up. Present it to you.
Really.
Miss Alston, you're part of Brethren's Heritage.
Well, that's it.
Here, Casey, you hold that.
Randy, don't you want him to picture? Randy.
That's the picture.
You'll Photoshop this up in.
Photoshop. Okay. Are you video?
Yes.
Okay, that's enough.
Beautiful smiles over here. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. You have.
Tomorrow.
Thank you all. Okay, now we have the individual award. That when our committee met, we thought that this was a great person to present this award to. He does a lot around the community. You'll see him out a lot of times. So we are going to let Jackie Gill come and present this award. Excuse me.
Keeping this a surprise was really hard. When Demeter called and told me, I cried, and it was on his birthday, and I couldn't be more proud. Thank you, Jason, for all that you do for our family and our community. And I'm so proud to know you, to be married to you, and to be your best friend. Will you please come accept this award?
Thank you, everybody. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thanks for the-
Your picture made, is your picture?
I think you all know we have seen Jason in some odd places picking up trash.
You gotta get there. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
I don't understand why nobody needs to say.
I have to be up at 4 o'clock because I'm a counselor or a commissioner for the. Yeah.
That's fine. I was
Thank you,
just.
guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to our unfinished business. Only one item today, that's the vacant building registration fees, and the public hearing will be December 9th, 2020.
That, we didn't have enough time to advertise from the time of the meeting last week till this meeting, so we'll have to have it in December. And that will be in the paper this week and the next week and one other time. I just added one other time closer to the meeting date. So that will.
Will that meeting be here?
Yes, it'll be right before our council meeting.
Okay.
So that's all we have. There's no action.
All right, new business. Number 2, consider lifting the sunset date and make other revisions to the recreational trail vehicles ordinance OHMC 10.12.
I included that in your package for y'all to review to see if you had any suggestions. Right now, the sunset date, I think, is
March 31st
25.
at 12:01.
So You can choose, I guess, just to eliminate that sunset date, or were there other changes that you wanted to make in the ordinance?
Chief, did you have time to review it yet?
I did, and one change I would request that we remove the helmet, wearing the helmet. The state doesn't require that. And I believe that's probably the reason it's not being strictly enforced in town. That's one suggestion I had. I think the other parts of the ordinance are sufficient and working out good with the speed and the times, the age and the drivers.
Chief, can you, because I don't know, does that apply to like, that doesn't apply to motorcycles, right? That applies just to like side by sides, correct?
ATVs and UTVs, yes.
Okay. Because there is a helmet law
There is a
for
helmet.
motorcycles.
So it will remain in effect. We can't.
So-
We can't touch
This,
that.
right, but this ordinance is for ATVs and UTVs, not motorcycles. So, okay.
Now, does our city ordinance, I mean, I was reading some on that. I haven't really had a chance to go over it totally. Now, we do require that any that are rode on the road, UTVs or ATVs, have to have insurance and a tag, right?
Okay.
But they do have to have insurance?
Am I right on that, Beef?
I think state law requires
And
that.
the reasoning behind that was that with the Rimfire Trail, there was discussion among the management of Rimfire Trail at the time this ordinance was initially being passed, that they were going to require insurance.
Yeah.
And our ordinance, if you read, requires that once the Rimfire Trail is up and running, doing business in Fayette County, that one of the requirements is for you to be legal to operate one within the city of Oak Hill, that you had to have a Rimfire membership sticker on your vehicle. And we deferred that insurance question to the management of the trail, or the Hatfield McCoy Trail. So that's why it's not directly addressed in our ordinance.
So they don't have any restrictions at all? I mean, they don't have to have a license, they don't have to have insurance?
Just be a licensed driver to operate one. You can't be under the age of 16 and out here riding around without a driver's license. So you can't do over 25 mile an hour regardless of the speed limit. You can't ride during dark hours. The helmet was one. And
So they do not have to have a helmet on.
right now they do. Under state law, you do not have to have a helmet. Therefore, like I said, I believe that's one of the reasons that our officers are hesitant to enforce the helmet law part of our ordinance.
So the state doesn't require.
State doesn't require it. You can come from out of town on a state road without a helmet. And once you cross the city limits, you would be in violation. That, like I say, I think that's why it's not being strictly enforced. But all in all, I think the ATVs and the UTV ordinance is good. I don't think we've had I think I have less complaints now about them than I did before that we even had an ordinance. If you recall, there was a lot of talk that they were going to be running up and down through neighborhoods all hours of the day and night. Or not everybody, but some were opposed of it, of having an ordinance allowing them. I think it's come off very well, in my opinion.
Have you had any cases where one of them hits a motorized vehicle?
I do not recall, and I'm sure it would have brought my attention, any accidents inside city limits involving ATV or UTV.
the riding of motorcycles, just so the public knows.
Motorcycles are covered under a different state law, and I'm sure the state has no plans of changing the helmet law. I haven't heard that they have.
The Rimfire Trail, I understand, will require,
The Rimfire Trail will require a helmet. Of course, we would welcome anybody to wear a helmet. I think it's smart to wear a helmet, but I drive one around on my property. I don't drive it out on the road. Don't wear a helmet on my property. Not down there, look, I'm okay. That's just a suggestion I have. You all change the ordinances. That's my take on any changes.
What would be your take on insurance on those? You would know more than any of us would. That's the reason why I'm asking. Think that there is an issue that we may, or can we do it without?
Just so y'all are aware, most of the time when you purchase an ATV, if you're making payments, now they require you like a vehicle to have insurance on that vehicle, as long as the bank is the lien holder.
As long as it's financed, he's right. I just
Yeah.
bought one probably 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And did finance it and have to carry, it's built into the payment.
So,
Not all of them's gonna be that way. A lot of them's gonna be owned, a lot of them's gonna be of such value that they probably are not worth insuring, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I was just asking your opinion.
My personal opinion, I wouldn't get out on the road without insurance.
I mean, that's kind of like me. I mean,
I'm a little bit protective of what little I've got, so.
that's right.
What about the liability insurance? Would that just, if they would hit somebody and damage their property? That would just fall under your uninsured.
It would fall under your uninsured motors on everybody's vehicle policy. That's there, it has to be there. I mean, that's something that we might want to look at, or you might want to think about, or, you all aren't, I don't think they'll do anything tonight, are you? Other than discussion. And I will maybe reach out to, and I know we did at the time, we checked with several municipalities that were close to the Rimfire, to the Hatfield and McCoys. We studied it extensively. I don't think we could have studied it any more than we did at the time. To be registered and street legal under the state code, because there's 2 sections of the state code that pertain to ATVs and UTVs. To be licensed, it has to be insured. You have to carry insurance on it. Right? If you have a license, which some of them do in town, I would say the majority of them are not licensed though. But the ones that are licensed do have to carry at least liability insurance.
I just wanted to see what your input would be on that too, because I mean, like I said, I haven't got to read through it all, but we was kind of looking for you for big answers.
You're not getting a solid answer.
Hey.
one thing that probably needs to be in it, I mean, it's a little bit redundant, but that I don't recall that it states that you can't operate one, that you cannot operate one on US Route 19. You can't, because it has federal funding. And I think we probably should put that in our.
Put that in our ordinance. It is in the state code. But yeah, you're probably right, because we have had at least one instance where somebody was on US Route 19 and thought they were improperly given a ticket.
Are they allowed to cross it perpendicular? Just like you're not.
I don't think you're
I
allowed.
had somebody.
Right,
"Oh, you
any time, are
you
you?
just can't drive one." I was like,
Law used to read you could cross a lined road perpendicular to get to the other side, but they done away with that with the new ATV law. You're not allowed to be on the roadway on 19 or any interstate whatsoever.
There is a segment, at least under the street legal portion, I have to look under the other. This is our ordinance number 1 in regards to the controlled access highway system, which Route 19 is the controlled access.
Is it in there now?
It's in there in this section. I just saw it. I didn't look, but this is specifically under the street legal. Recreational trail vehicle, and there's another segment.
Right.
Talks about non-street legal. I have to look, see if it's in there, but it is in here in part. It doesn't say Route 19, but any controlled access.
I hit one the other day. It was my own ATV that I hit with my pickup truck.
Thank goodness you weren't in the city limit.
There you go.
You got a citation.
Now there's still a big scrape on my truck.
Okay, so I can make some of these changes that were mentioned and bring it back for you to look at. And if anybody has any suggestions before that time, we'll put it in there and see what happens.
Any further questions, discussion?
So we need to make a motion to table this, right, Bill?
Right, I'll move that we table this, till the next regular meeting.
I second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to table the sunset date until the next regular meeting. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion is carried. Moving to number 3, consider repealing the municipal code 10.04.010F, restricted areas for skateboards, inline skates, rollerblades, and bicycles.
Our ordinance has skateboards restricted in the park where we have a skateboard park. So, Councilman Gill brought this to our attention, and we thought maybe was the time that we needed to repeal that.
I don't know if repeal the whole thing or if we need to change, because it does have something there that talks about bicycles. I don't know that we just want to it's up to y'all. Do you want to repeal it, or do you want to control that the bicycles stay off the sidewalk so people are not riding around skateboards and stuff around the sidewalk around the park, but they stay in the designated area?
The only one that I had was, number 1 there. I think when I copied this, it came out wrong with the lettering. But the use and operation of skateboards, inline skates, rollerblades, and bicycles in the following area, which is the parks, City Park and Collins Park. And just delete that whole thing.
City Park and Collins Park.
Right. To say it's okay for skateboards and bicycles in the park, in both parks.
What saying in designated areas?
That it's restricted in designated areas.
No, it's restricted other than designated
In
areas.
designated areas.
Because and the only reason I say it, I know from years past, there were some problems with when it would be crowded with pedestrians in the park. Games would be going on and people were riding bikes through the park.
Oh, okay. We can do that. I guess, Josh, does that?
Sure.
We did.
Yeah, I think the complexity of the issue might merit possibly tabling this. I can assist a couple of council members within a special council, if you like, within the next month. And we can revisit it in December if you would like.
Okay.
Well, if we're gonna table something like that, is there something that I could probably add to that then? Because I've noticed a lot up here at the skate park and, you know, we've already had a couple people get hurt. And there's a lot of times I come by there and nobody has a helmet on. I think that maybe helmets may need to be required at the skateboard park.
Well, I guess we could do that, but we really, I mean, who's gonna police that? We do say they're required at the park.
Within the rules sign, it is required that they wear a helmet.
Well, I mean, I didn't know if it was just this or I haven't really been up there to look that much into that, but I just know whenever I go by, there's kids out there and no helmets on and everything else. And like I said, we've had a couple people get their arms broke and that's all we need is for, you know.
I've never seen anybody with one.
I'm saying, every time you go up there, there's nobody with a helmet on.
I think that's covered under the recreation law that just because you provide recreation, that it's their own fault if they don't follow the rules.
But it is posted on the signage, so.
That's correct, yes.
I think it goes as far as to say other personal protective equipment, not necessarily just, you know, you got pad and all the things. I think you have to look inside. I think it's strongly encouraged. I believe is the way that it's worded.
Well, I just didn't want it to where, you know, they could come back on us.
Is there an age limit on those helmets? Can the adults they don't have to follow that, do they?
Well, again, within the rules, it's strongly encouraged that anybody on the skate park wear protective equipment.
I don't know that there's a law anywhere. I mean, there is for bicycles, but I don't know about skating.
Not aware. You know, I think with the city's White Oak Rail Trail and the trails that we are building out at Needles Eye Park, you know, I think we perhaps might see, particularly with the trails at Needles Eye Park, we might end up seeing an influx of mountain bikers within the city. And I think we have to be very careful with the language that we use to restrict bicycles anywhere in the city.
Well, I think we could still say in designated areas, and then if we want to restrict the sidewalks in Collins or in City Park, then we can do that. Because, you know, we probably don't want them riding.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, so if we could do that, and then we could decide where the designated areas are.
Well, I move to table this item until Mr. Sapio is prepared to make recommendations to council.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to consider repealing the code 10.04010F. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. Number 4, considering allowing the farmers market to use Rick Rutledge Pavilion for other uses.
Angela Perry, who is the president of the farmers market, had asked for this to be on the agenda. However, she couldn't make it tonight. She's ill. And she asked that we table this until next meeting.
Anyone want to offer motion for that?
I'm just gonna table it till the next meeting.
All right, we have a motion and second that we consider allowing the farmers market to be used or to use Rick Rutledge Pavilion for other uses. Any further questions? All in favor? All opposed? Motion's carried. Number 5, police hiring, changing current officers from 90-day emergency hires to permanent hires.
I believe I provided everybody with a copy of the Civil Service Commission's recommendation. It is to permanently hire 2 officers that are currently on the 90-day emergency plan. First being Keely Higginbotham.
Mayor, I'll make that motion to hire Keely Higginbotham.
I second it. We have a motion and a second to hire Keely Higginbotham to the Oak Hill Police Department. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you. The second one would be Officer Chase Hart. Permanently hired.
I'll make a motion that we do that for Chase Hart.
I second. Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself from this subject.
All right. There's one refused. All those all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you.
And number 6 would be an appointment of a member of council to the comprehensive plan team.
I've already been contacted by the WVU Law Clinic to get started with some planning for the comprehensive team, or for the comprehensive plan team. I'd like to have a member of council on that team that will be dedicated to come to the meetings and give input on that. So
I can do that. I mean, I was on the other one.
Comp plan team.
I was on the last one. Yeah.
10 years ago when
Just on this one, we just started there. I don't know, it's a couple months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. With Allison.
did we have a team?
Yeah, I mean, there was several of us that met out there at Bob's.
Oh, that's that community engagement team. Okay, well, this is specifically for the comp plan.
I can do it too. It don't matter. It's whatever.
I think Mr. Hannibas would be a good option for that. Being that he worked with them on the last comprehensive plan years ago. He's very familiar with that. That's just my opinion. I don't know if he'd be interested. I never mentioned it. I just, to him, I mean,
I'll do it. Mary can do it. That was 2013. Last comprehensive plan update. I mean, I'd be glad to do it. It's not the behind the scenes stuff isn't a whole lot of fun, Terry.
Oh, believe me, I know. I mean, I just, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, but Bill wants to, he can.
I don't think we even have to limit it to one. It's just good to have somebody designated that they're going to be in the meetings and listen to
And build together
the
if you
team
don't
from
mind.
WVU.
So it's both of
So,
them.
Terry.
I was hoping you were going to arm wrestle for it.
I pass.
We have that left hand and my right shoulder is bad.
All right, number 7. Moving along, permission to ask the county commission to allow the,
I'm sorry, should we make a form of vote on that?
well, we didn't really appoint it, you volunteered. I mean,
Okay.
so I didn't think we needed an action. Do we need
No,
action?
I think
Okay.
All right. Permission to ask the county commission to allow the redirection of ARPA funds to a branding, signage, and wayfinding plan in connection with the WV hubcap.
so. We have, since we went with a different comp plan consultant, we have some extra money. I have to go to the county commission to ask to be able to redirect that ARPA money. So the hubcap has been working with Montgomery and Smithers on a wayfinding, signage, branding, and all that. So they have vetted, hubcap has vetted consultants, and they have a consultant that's doing that one, and they gave us a proposal to do ours as well. Stacy Thomas, well, she's not Thomas anymore. She got married, but she is the leader of our hubcap team. So I'm going to let her tell you some things, and then she can answer any questions that you might have.
Good evening, council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
We're good.
As Demita said, my name's Stacy Henderson. I have been before the council a couple times in the almost 2 years I've been working with Oak Hill to talk about Hubcap and the work with the community of Oak Hill. So as just a brief refresher, Hubcap is a coaching program from the West Virginia Community Development Hub that is meant to increase leadership and capacity in the community while fulfilling a kind of a big project that will enable the community to have some long-term goals to work on. I run our Hubcap program and have coached in this program for 5 years at the Hub. As Demita also said, I'm also working with Smithers and Montgomery in the same program. Smithers and Montgomery had identified that they were going to do an identity finding process, branding, and wayfinding project. So in the late summer, we put out a request for proposals and received 8 proposals back from a variety of consultants really along the East Coast. After a really thorough process with Smithers and Montgomery, we selected Destination by Design to work with those 2 communities for this process. After the change in the direction with Oak Hill's comp plan, the discussion came about Oak Hill potentially joining in with Smithers and Montgomery for kind of the same services. And I reached out to Destination by Design, and they're happy to include Oak Hill as well. So I'll just say, in talking with the consultant and, my work with other communities through similar processes, I think there's actually a lot of strength in Smithers, Montgomery, and Oak Hill utilizing the same consultant. A lot of the work that is going to go into this is going to be around developing the assets that need to be in support of the gorge and the tourism along with that. So there's a lot of shared assets between the 3 communities. The consultant and I both feel like it would be really advantageous to have kind of the cohesion and continuation of this work with the same consultant. I did send Ms. Johnson the proposal from the consultant, which would be $45,000 to include Oak Hill in this process. The Hub will provide Oak Hill $20,000 of that as part of our technical assistance process. So it does leave, a balance of $25,000 if that would be the direction that you guys would want to go. Since the county had already set aside funds, for something similar, I can't foresee why they would have an issue with, reallocating for to be able to work with this. The consultants are already scheduled for their first visit to Smithers and Montgomery, but I have talked with them and we can kind of get on the same timeline moving forward if that's the direction that you guys want to go. I do want to emphasize again that the process to select this consultant, Destination by Design, was extremely thorough with the vetting of all 8 requests for proposals that we had, and then a 2-step interview process with community members and some stakeholders that we felt would be valuable to providing feedback to Smithers and Montgomery. Ultimately, Destination by Design was chosen because they have done a lot of work in the outdoor rec industry. They have several projects in West Virginia. They're based out of Boone, North Carolina. So the Made in the Mountains campaign of Western North Carolina is one of their most coveted projects, but they've worked with the city of Beckley. They've also worked with McDowell County, the Mountaineer Trails Alliance, and then I've worked with them personally with the community of Marlington and the Mon Forest Trails or Mon Forest Towns initiative, pretty much on the same thing that the proposal for Oak Hill was for. So I'm going to stop there and see if there's any questions or if you guys want any more specific information about any aspects.
And I got those over the weekend. So this morning I put those in those SharePoint. So I know that you may not have had a chance to work it, to look at the proposals, but it just outlines how they would do it with the branding, the wayfinding. Even if we would want to redo our logo, that's part of it. Or if we're good with our logo and we want to use it to expand a logo for the parks or just for Needles Eye Park or Needles Eye Trail or Collins Park, Russell Matthew Park. You know, we can have logos for different areas. It would also include some signage, some wayfinding signage, so that we could tell people where our dog park is and where our skate park is. And so they would lay that all out. And then, and even with, you know, they would design the signs and everything that after going through a process. And then we would have to have those, the work actually done.
Yeah, the project is a 4-phase project, just so everyone is aware. So that the first phase is some analysis and public engagement. Then there's some basically the identity finding, the brand strategy, and the positioning. And then you go into kind of the logo and identity development process, and then the wayfinding and signage plan. I will say that the proposal for Oak Hill at $45,000 is less than Smithers and Montgomery had a combined request. They're working together. Theirs was $65,000. When I went back to the consultant and asked about the potential of adding Oak Hill, they did come in at a discount with, you know, adding the third community. And again, I think there's a lot of strength in the 3 communities using the same consultant. I'll also say I live in Richwood. I've been involved in the Mon Forest Towns initiative since its inception in 2017. A lot of the work that's going to happen in this project is going to be similar to the Mon Forest Towns initiative that has really helped bring those 12 communities together in a collaborative way that has really positioned them to be a strong initiative moving forward. If you follow the Appalachian Regional Commission, last week Mon Forest Towns was awarded, I believe, $1.4 million for a power grant for implementation of some of their work over the next 3 years. So I feel like this is a really good opportunity for Oak Hill, and especially to strengthen their relationship with two other communities.
There's another proposal in there that mentions a regional concept. If we decide, we could also add that to it. It would be a different piece, but that's something else that we could add to try to, you know, the county is trying to work as a region. The NRGRDA is trying to have a regional concept. So I think that also would be good.
Yes, there is a regional approach that is an additional $30,000. I'll also say I've been involved with NRGRDA on the regional wayfinding for over 2 years as well with that committee. Due to some changes at NRGRDA, I don't think there's been the traction and things moving forward as much as everyone would hope over the last couple years. But I think as we continue to move forward, that can definitely happen. And I do think, you know, that the proposal for the regional wayfinding is very strong as well. You know, you guys know that you're going to see the growth from the gorge, and you continue to see that. Outdoor rec is such a strong industry in West Virginia and continues to grow. This is going to be able to position Oak Hill to really think about your future opportunities and be well prepared for those.
And I think it would be so great to have something that when we mention it, whatever, oh yeah, that's Oak Hill. That you can do that in Oak Hill. Or do you remember going to Oak Hill to do whatever it is, which we've had a hard time doing because we don't have the New River Gorge in our backyard. I mean, it's close, but you know, Fayetteville claims that. It's in our backyard, but we can't claim it. So it's like, you know, just finding that one little thing that we can say about Oak Hill besides the oak tree that's at Hilltop.
I'll also say this process will be highly engaging with the community. I'll invite anyone on council that wants to be involved if you guys should go forward with this. We'll also have numerous community engagement opportunities for the public to be involved. This is not a process that takes place in the dark. It is our goal to engage the community throughout this process.
Is this like a year, 2 years? How does that work?
The actual project would be, it would conclude around June of next year. So work would kick off really in the next couple weeks, with kind of the final product by June of next year.
Before this goes, though, before we can do this, we have to get the blessing from the commission, the county commission, to reallocate. Because they had allocated so much for our comprehensive plan, and when we chose the law clinic, it saved a ton of money. So, and even with this, that's still coming in less than what they had originally allocated for.
Well, I'm hoping that we can use the rest of that to implement some of the things that they suggest.
So you're wanting us to give a blessing to go to them and ask for that.
Yes.
And I'm happy to accompany Demita to that meeting as well. I coach the Smithers and Montgomery team as well, and I just think that there's a huge opportunity here for the three communities.
I'd like to make that motion that we ask the county commission to allow the redirection of the ARPA funds for this.
Second.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second that we have permission to ask the county commission to allow the redirection of ARPA funding. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you.
Thank you, council. Have a good evening.
Number 8 is reviewing resumes for the city clerk treasurer position. This is an anticipated executive session.
And so is the next.
And so is the next one. So we might do them both while we're in there.
If we anticipate it, I think it's gonna take a little bit of time. Can we suspend the rules and go ahead and go to department reports?
That's fine with you.
Get our department reports. I make a motion that we suspend it and go ahead and get the department report so that they don't have to sit here while we're in executive session.
I second
All right. We have a motion and a second that we suspend this and move along with our department reports. All those in favor? All opposed? Okay. And our department reports, they're in your packets. Most of you already know. The police report was just a little late, but it's going in there, so you'll be able to read that. I'm gonna give you a quick 264 citations issued, only one parking violation. That's wonderful. Total arrest 40, and not too bad at all. So 16 felony arrests, 24 misdemeanor arrests. Good. All right, well, I'll go ahead and break, and we are now, oh, sorry, we have to accept the reports, and then we have to do MSPs. I'm sorry.
This time I'd like to just talk about, we talked about gutters and downspouts. Now this is just a reminder to keep your gutters clean, because if they're full of debris and they're completely clogged or just a little bit clogged, you can damage your roof and your foundation. You can flood your yard, kill your landscaping, and it can harm the value of your home. Clean them regularly, even if you have gutter guards. And it's a great way to prep for incoming rainstorms. It's ideal to clean your gutters at least twice a year to clean off your spring and fall foliage, not have those little trees growing in. And you can hire a service or you can do it yourself. But don't get on the ladder if you can't climb the ladder and fall off.
All right. We can get a motion to accept all department reports.
I'll make a motion.
May we have a second, please?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept all department head reports. All those in favor? All opposed? All right, thank you. Now we will move into our executive session. Will we need a motion to do that, please? Anyone?
I'll make that motion, Mayor, that we go into executive session.
Second? We have a motion and a second, then we move into executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Good night.